Welcome back to Greetings from Area Code 207. We're the local music hour here at 102.9 WBLM. My name's Charlie Gaylord. Each week we have an in-studio guest, and this week is no different. In for, well, not his first time on the show, but first time as a solo artist, Hutch Heelan. Hutch, how you doing? Thanks for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
And you've got a new CD out called
Mercury Music.
Mercury Music. Hutch Heelan presents Mercury Music, and we're going to talk all about that. But first, let's talk a little bit about you. You were on the show a few years ago. You were a member of Pete Kilpatrick's band.
Yep.
I don't know, how long ago was that?
I guess about 2.5 years ago was when I stopped playing with Pete. But before that, I played with him for about 7 years or 6 years or something like that.
And you go back a ways from him. You're from the York area originally. Is that correct?
Yep. Along with Pete Kilpatrick and there's actually a lot of musicians.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this on the show.
I
I don't know if we talked about it when you were on the show, but there's a lot of guys from York who have ended up in music and in bands. And do you have any theories on that, Hutch?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I mean, is something in the water, or we'll talk about the water later.
Yeah.
But did they have a really good music program at
I think
York High School?
I think it was a school lunch in the cafeteria. Something in the tater tots.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but high concentration of young rock musicians and good musicians. Spencer Albee and Zach Jones and Pete Kilpatrick and all those guys.
Yeah, a lot of
Jeremiah Freed.
A lot of good friends from there. So
right, so you kind of came out of that whole scene as well.
Yeah, I grew up. Actually, Jake Roach from Jeremiah Freed, who's in a band now called Lit on the Flash. He and I went to a private Catholic school when we were kids, with the nuns and all that, all that nonsense. And so we'd ride on the school bus and play G.I. Joes together and stuff. And so we'd known each other for a really long time. And same thing with Matt Cosby, I first met him when I was in 6th grade. And all those guys, we've known each other for a long time and managed to work out our differences and stay friends.
Yeah, that's good.
Fortunately.
And I think that's kind of how Pete got his start too, singing when he would tour with, he would go on the road with Jeremiah Freed and sort of be the opener, plays acoustic guitar.
He'd be doing the, guitar tech for them and stuff. And then Roach actually, he's hey, let's have him open. So it's a good start off point.
Yeah, that's good. So you come out of that whole, and like I said, you were playing with Pete's band, but now you've got a solo disc, and how did this all come about?
It's sort of, when I first started playing music, I was just obsessed with Primus, which I don't think it's that evident in my music now. I'm kind of leaning a little more towards, melodic stuff. So I started out actually playing in Primus cover bands and stuff.
And you play the bass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd try and learn all the crazy stuff like Victor Wooten, crazy bass solos and all that jazz. And so coming out of high school, Pete got rolling with his band and stuff. He needed a bass player, and we're great friends. So I decided I'd play with him and had that experience for a number of years and played a lot of great shows. And kind of the whole time, in the back of my mind, I felt kind of this hope to record my own album, kind of burning a hole back there or something, So it was a long time coming for me. And I had a lot of built-up feelings over it and stuff. So when it actually came to be, I don't know, it was a huge release for me and a huge relief as well.
Now, had you always been a songwriter? I mean, did you have hundreds of songs written, or were you just working on getting an album's worth done?
I have always been a songwriter, but I haven't always been the best at completing them. A lot of times what I do is I'll find a guitar figure that I feel kind of resonates with me. Then I kind of just make a mental note of that. I'm like, oh, that'll be something to build off. And a lot of times I start with just one verse to kind of get the feel, or maybe a verse and a chorus, or the melody of the chorus, and then kind of forget about it for a while until I'm under the gun to complete it.
So this whole project, this solo album, which is called Presents Mercury Music, which is out now in stores. How long was the process from start to finish of saying I want to do a CD to the time you got it done?
Well, I decided I couldn't really put it off anymore because I just didn't want it bothering me that I wasn't taking action towards it. So I decided to kind of draw a line in the sand and set a recording date out at Halo in Wyndham with John Wyman.
Yeah, John.
He's done a lot of great work with Rustic Overtones and Jeremiah Freed. He's a really great producer, great guy. And I felt like I wanted to do it right for the first record, so I went out with him, and so I set that date and then worked towards that.
So that was kind of a motivator for you.
Right, yep. And then I was recording. I set up the date like around my birthday because I kind of viewed it as a birthday present to myself to get it done, And due to certain extenuating circumstances, I wasn't able to finish the last 2 days of that recording session. But that was last May. I kind of ran myself a little wacky with getting the demos done and stuff. Anyway, after that was back in May, and I kind of just took the summer off and then got back to it to do the finishing touches in September, and then kind of hibernated all winter, and then decided to draw another line in the sand.
So the CD's been out for a month or so, or how long has it been out?
Almost a month. Yep.
Did you have an official release party, or is that's you've got a gig coming up on September 5th?
Yep, September 5th at the Big Easy.
We're talking with Hutch Heelan. His new CD is Hutch Heelan Presents Mercury Music, and let's hear a couple of tracks right now.
Sounds good.
I think you picked out a couple. Which two are we going to hear?
Why don't we start with Young and Invincible?
Anything you want to say about that one before we play it?
This is kind of a party song, and just talking about, how we go out and party and we kind of act like we're invincible. We smoke too many cigarettes and do some things that aren't probably the healthiest thing, but you're living in the moment and you're enjoying yourself, which I think is the most important thing. But again, you gotta respect yourself too, to some extent.
And then we got time for a song after that. What are we going to hear after that?
What Will Be.
All right, let's check it out. We're talking with Hutch Heelan here on Greetings from Area Code 207.
Can pick